Transform your entire day with intentional morning affirmations that rewire your mindset for success. Your first thoughts set the tone for everything that follows. Positive self-talk creates unstoppable momentum and resilience. Simple, science-backed phrases spoken daily that program your subconscious mind for confidence, clarity, and achievement. In the next few moments, I'll teach you the most powerful morning affirmations that successful people use to transform their mindset and achieve extraordinary results daily. 1. Today is a new beginning. Each morning, remind yourself that yesterday's mistakes don't define you. Your failures, your setbacks, your regrets, they are lessons, not life sentences. Think of life like a chalkboard. Every sunrise wipes it clean, giving you space to draw something better. Imagine if a painter refused to start a new canvas because the last one wasn't perfect. We'd miss out on masterpieces. Don't let your past rob you of your future. Start fresh. Wake up and say, today is a new beginning. Today I get another chance, because you do. Every single day you're alive, you're gifted with opportunity, an opportunity to rebuild, restart, and renew. The weight of yesterday can feel crushing if you let it. Maybe you said something you wish you could take back. Perhaps you made a choice that led to disappointment. Or maybe you simply didn't live up to your own expectations. These moments can follow you like shadows, whispering that you're not good enough, that you've blown your chances, that it's too late to change course. But these whispers are lies. Consider the natural world around you. Trees don't refuse to grow new leaves because last season's fell to the ground. Rivers don't stop flowing because they hit rocks along the way. The sun doesn't decide to skip rising because yesterday was cloudy. Nature understands something profound that humans often forget. Renewal is the law of life. Every dawn brings fresh energy, new possibilities, and another chance to grow. Your past experiences, both good and bad, have shaped you into who you are today. They've given you wisdom, strength, and perspective, but they don't have to determine who you become tomorrow. The person you were yesterday was doing the best they could with the knowledge, resources, and emotional state they had at the time. Today, you have new knowledge. Today, you have different resources. Today, you are stronger than you were before. Think about the most successful people you admire. Not one of them achieved greatness without stumbling along the way. They faced rejection, made poor decisions, and experienced setbacks that could have ended their dreams. What set them apart wasn't the absence of failure, it was their ability to treat each new day as a fresh start. They understood that progress isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up and trying again. Starting fresh doesn't mean ignoring the lessons your mistakes have taught you. It means carrying the wisdom forward while leaving the shame behind. It means honoring your journey without being imprisoned by it. When you wake up and declare that today is a new beginning, you're not erasing your history, you're choosing to write a better chapter. This fresh start mindset requires daily practice. Your mind will try to pull you back into old patterns of thinking. It will remind you of past failures and try to convince you that change is impossible. But every morning, you have the power to redirect your thoughts toward possibility instead of limitation, toward growth instead of stagnation, toward hope instead of despair. Remember that small beginnings can lead to extraordinary endings. The grandest oak tree started as a tiny acorn. The mightiest river began as a single drop of rain. Your new beginning doesn't have to be dramatic or earth-shattering. It can start with one different choice, one kinder word to yourself, one step in a new direction. So, tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, take a deep breath and feel the gift of a fresh start flowing through you. Let go of yesterday's burdens and embrace today's possibilities. Say it out loud if you need to. Today is a new beginning, because it is, and you deserve every beautiful thing that can grow from that truth. 2. I am stronger than my challenges. Obstacles are woven into the fabric of every human life, but the way you choose to see them makes all the difference between feeling defeated or becoming stronger. Each morning when you wake up, stand before your mirror and speak these words with conviction. I am stronger than my challenges. Let this become your daily promise to yourself. Take a moment to remember the hardest times you have already lived through. The broken heart that made you feel like the world was ending. The months when money was so tight you worried about every penny. The dreams that crumbled and left you wondering if you would ever succeed at anything. The nights when sleep would not come because worry filled your mind. You faced all of these storms, and yet here you are today, breathing, thinking, planning for tomorrow. That survival is not luck, it is proof of your inner strength. Think of challenges like the heavy iron weights that people lift to build their muscles. When you first try to lift a weight, it feels impossible. Your arms shake, your muscles burn, and every part of you wants to put it down. But if you keep lifting day after day, something amazing happens. What once felt too heavy becomes manageable. Your muscles grow stronger, your grip becomes firmer, and you find yourself reaching for even heavier weights. Life works the same way. The problems that feel crushing today are building your strength for tomorrow. The job you lost is teaching you to be resourceful. The relationship that ended is showing you what you truly need in love. The illness you are fighting is revealing how much courage lives inside you. The money troubles are forcing you to discover skills and solutions you never knew you had. When a new difficulty appears in your life, try to change how you talk about it. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of thinking, "I cannot handle this," remind yourself, "I am learning to handle this." Instead of believing this will break me, know that this will make me stronger. Speak these truths out loud every single day until they become part of who you are. Say them when you wake up, repeat them when you feel afraid, whisper them when doubt creeps into your thoughts. Words have power, especially the words you say to yourself. Remember that you are not measured by the weight of the problems you carry, but by the strength you build while carrying them. Every person who has ever accomplished something meaningful has carried heavy burdens. Every hero in every story has faced moments of doubt and pain. The difference between those who crumble and those who rise is not the absence of problems, but the presence of strength. You already have this strength inside you. Every morning in the mirror, remind yourself of this truth. 3. My attitude determines my altitude. Your circumstances do not define who you are, your perspective does. Picture two farmers looking at the same field after a terrible storm has swept through their land. The first farmer sees only broken fences, damaged crops, and months of lost work. He sits on his porch, head in his hands, convinced that everything is ruined. The second farmer sees the same destruction, but his eyes focus on something different. He notices how the storm has cleared away old, weak plants and loosened the soil. He sees an opportunity to plant new seeds, build stronger fences, and create something better than before. Both farmers face the exact same situation, yet their experiences will be completely different. One will struggle to recover while the other will thrive. What makes the difference? Their attitude toward what happened to them. Every morning when you wake up, look at yourself and say these powerful words, "My attitude determines my altitude." Repeat this until it becomes as natural as breathing. Think of your mindset as the wings of an airplane. When the pilot adjusts the wings to tilt downward, the plane descends toward the ground and eventually crashes. But when those same wings tilt upward, the aircraft rises higher and higher into the sky, soaring above the clouds and storms below. Your attitude works exactly like those airplane wings. When you choose to focus on what is wrong, what is missing, or what might go badly, your life tilts downward. Problems feel heavier, opportunities seem scarce, and every small setback feels like a disaster. But when you deliberately choose positivity, gratitude, and resilience, something magical happens. You begin to rise above the negativity that once weighed you down. A positive attitude does not mean pretending that problems do not exist. The farmer who sees opportunity in the storm still has real damage to repair. The difference is that he approaches each task with energy and hope instead of despair and defeat. He attracts help from neighbors who want to be around someone with such determination. He finds creative solutions because his mind is open to possibilities rather than closed by fear. When you choose to maintain a positive attitude, you become like a magnet for good things. People want to work with someone who brings energy and optimism to difficult situations. Opportunities appear because you are alert and ready to recognize them. Problems become puzzles to solve rather than walls that block your path. Your attitude does not erase problems from your life, but it completely changes how you approach them. Instead of being a victim of circumstances, you become the author of your response. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you start asking, "How can I grow from this?" Instead of seeing endings, you begin to see new beginnings. Choose your altitude. Choose to soar. 4. I am worthy of success and happiness. Too many people become their own worst enemy, sabotaging their dreams and chances at happiness because somewhere deep inside, they have convinced themselves they do not deserve better. They watch others achieve wonderful things and think, "That could never be me." I am not good enough for that kind of life. But this belief is built on a lie that has been repeated so many times it feels like truth. Worthiness is not something you earn by being perfect. You do not have to prove yourself worthy of love, success, or happiness by never making mistakes, always saying the right thing, or achieving impossible standards. Your worthiness is not a prize given to you by others for good behavior. It is not something that can be taken away when you fail or stumble. Your worthiness exists simply because you exist. You were born worthy, and you will always be worthy, no matter what happens in your life. Each morning when you wake up, before you start thinking about all the things you need to do or all the ways you might fall short, speak these words to yourself with conviction. I am worthy of success and happiness. Say it even if you do not believe it yet. Say it especially when you do not believe it. These words are like medicine for a wounded spirit, and like all medicine, they work best when taken regularly. Think about a gardener who plants a beautiful seed in rich soil. This seed has everything it needs to grow into something magnificent, the right environment, good earth, and endless potential. But imagine if that gardener decided the seed did not deserve to grow. What if he refused to water it, convinced that such beauty was meant for other gardens, not his? The seed would never have a chance. It would wither and die, not because it lacked potential, but because it was denied the care it needed. This is exactly what happens when you deny your own worth. Your dreams and goals are like seeds planted in your heart. They have everything they need to grow into reality, your talents, your determination, your unique perspective on the world. But when you tell yourself you do not deserve success, you stop watering those dreams. You stop taking the actions that would help them grow. You convince yourself that good things are meant for other people, not for you. But your dreams were placed in your heart for a reason. They are not accidents or cruel jokes. They are possibilities waiting to become realities. The vision you have for a better life, the goals that make your heart beat faster when you think about them, the changes you want to make in the world, these are not reserved for people who are somehow more deserving than you. Stand tall and claim what is already yours by right of being human. Believe that your goals are not just for other people who seem more qualified, more talented, or more lucky. Your worth is the fertile soil in which all success takes root. 5. I choose discipline over excuses. Excuses are the easiest thing in the world to find. They are always waiting for you, ready to justify why you cannot do what you plan to do. They whisper sweetly in your ear when the alarm clock rings too early, when the weather looks gloomy, when you feel tired, or when the task ahead seems too difficult. Excuses are comfortable companions that never ask anything of you except to stay exactly where you are. Discipline, on the other hand, is rare and precious. It is the voice that speaks quietly but firmly when excuses are shouting. Discipline does not care if you feel motivated or if conditions are perfect. It simply asks you to keep the promises you made to yourself. This is what separates people who dream from people who achieve. Dreamers have wonderful ideas and grand plans, but when the moment comes to act, they listen to excuses. Achievers hear the same excuses but choose discipline instead. Every morning when you wake up, before the day begins to pull you in different directions, make this powerful declaration. I choose discipline over excuses. Say it with strength in your voice, because you are making a choice that will shape everything that follows. You are deciding to be someone who keeps their word, especially the word given to themselves. The excuses will come. They always do. Your mind will tell you that you are too tired to exercise, too busy to read that book, too overwhelmed to work on your goals. It will remind you of past failures and suggest that maybe you should wait for a better time, when you feel more ready or when life becomes easier. These voices sound reasonable, even caring, as if they are protecting you from disappointment. But discipline teaches you a different truth. It shows you that you can act even when you do not feel like acting. You can get up even when the bed feels too comfortable. You can practice even when you would rather rest. You can study even when your mind wants to wander. Discipline is showing up to do what you committed to do long after the excitement and motivation that inspired that commitment have faded away. Think of a farmer who must tend to his fields every day. The crops do not care if he woke up feeling tired or if the weather is unpleasant. They need water, care, and attention, whether he feels like giving it or not. If the farmer listened to excuses every morning, it is too hot today, my back hurts, I will do it tomorrow, his fields would produce nothing. No amount of good intentions or elaborate plans would feed his family if he did not do the daily work that crops require. Your life works exactly the same way. Your goals and dreams need daily attention, consistent action, and regular care. Discipline is the bridge that connects where you are now to where you want to be. You build this bridge one choice at a time, one day at a time, one disciplined action at a time. 6. I will focus on progress, not perfection. Perfection is one of the most dangerous traps you can fall into. It sounds noble and admirable on the surface, but underneath it is a cruel master that keeps you stuck in place. Perfection whispers poisonous lies into your ear. You are not ready yet. You need to know more before you start. You are not good enough. Wait until you can do it perfectly. These whispers sound like wisdom, but they are actually chains that keep you from ever beginning the journey toward your dreams. Progress, however, is pure freedom. Progress does not demand that you be flawless or that you have all the answers before you take the first step. Progress simply asks you to move forward, even if that movement is small, even if it feels clumsy or imperfect. Progress celebrates the attempt, honors the effort, and builds momentum from whatever you can offer today. Every morning when you wake up, speak these liberating words to yourself. I will focus on progress, not perfection. Let this become your daily promise to choose movement over paralysis, action over endless preparation, and courage over fear of making mistakes. Think about someone climbing a tall mountain. If that climber spends all his time staring up at the distant peak, measuring how far he still has to go, calculating all the obstacles ahead, he will become overwhelmed and quit before he has truly begun. The peak looks impossibly far away, and the path seems too difficult for someone like him. But if that same climber focuses on taking just one step, then another, something magical happens. Each step becomes easier than the last. His legs grow stronger, his breathing improves, and his confidence builds. Soon he looks back and is amazed to discover how high he has already climbed. The peak that seemed impossible from the bottom now feels achievable. Your goals work exactly the same way. When you focus on how far you have to go, how much you still need to learn, or how many obstacles stand between you and success, you become paralyzed by the enormity of the task. But when you focus on the next right step, the next small action, the next tiny improvement, you begin to move forward. Progress has a secret power that perfection does not possess. It compounds. Small wins build into bigger victories. The book you write one page at a time becomes a finished manuscript. The business you build one customer at a time becomes successful. The skills you develop one practice session at a time become expertise. Each small step forward makes the next step easier and more natural. Do not wait for perfect conditions to begin working toward your dreams, because perfect conditions do not exist. There will always be something you do not know, some skill you have not mastered, some obstacle you have not planned for. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you will wait forever. Focus on the next right step. Trust that progress, however small, is always enough to keep you moving toward the life you want. 7. I am responsible for my life. Blame is the easiest path to take when life becomes difficult. It feels natural to point your finger at other people, at circumstances beyond your control, or at the unfairness of the world when things do not go as planned. Blame offers temporary comfort because it removes the burden of having to do something about your situation. It allows you to sit back and say, "This is not my fault, so there is nothing I can do about it." Responsibility, however, is where true power lives. When you take responsibility for your life, you reclaim control over your destiny. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the author of your own story. Every morning when you wake up, speak these empowering words to yourself. I am responsible for my life. Let this declaration remind you that regardless of what happened yesterday or what challenges you face today, you have the power to choose your response. This does not mean that everything that happens to you is your fault. Life is not always fair, and terrible things sometimes happen to good people through no choice of their own. Accidents occur, people betray your trust, illness strikes, jobs disappear, and natural disasters destroy what you have built. You did not choose these events, and you are not to blame for them. But here is the crucial truth. While you may not be responsible for what happens to you, you are always responsible for what you do about it. Viktor Frankl understood this principle better than most people ever will. He was a psychiatrist who was imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps during World War II, where he endured unimaginable suffering. He watched his family members die, experienced starvation and brutality, and lived under conditions that would break most people completely. Yet from this darkest chapter of human history, he emerged with a profound insight about human nature. Frankl discovered that even when everything else is stripped away, freedom, possessions, health, loved ones, one thing remains that no person or circumstance can take from you. He called it the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. This choice belongs to you alone, and it is the most powerful tool you possess. You hold this same power today. No matter what has happened to you in the past, no matter what challenges you currently face, you can choose how you respond. You can choose your attitude, your effort, your focus, and your next action. These choices shape your future more than any external circumstance ever could. Instead of telling yourself, life is happening to me, begin saying, life is happening for me, and I am responsible for what I do with it. This simple shift in language creates a massive change in perspective. You stop being a passive observer of your own life and become an active participant in creating the future you want. 8. I am always learning and growing. Growth does not happen by accident. It is not something that occurs naturally while you go about your daily routine, like the way your hair grows or your fingernails get longer. True growth, the kind that transforms your life and expands your possibilities, requires intention, effort, and a deliberate choice to keep moving forward. Every morning when you wake up, make this powerful commitment to yourself. I am always learning and growing. Think of yourself as a living tree planted in the soil of life. A healthy tree never stops reaching upward toward the sun, never stops extending its roots deeper into the earth, never stops adding new rings of strength to its trunk. If a tree stops growing, it begins to decay. Dead branches appear, the bark becomes brittle, and eventually the whole tree falls. The same principle applies to human beings. If you are not actively stretching yourself, learning new things, and developing new capabilities, you begin to wither in ways that may not be immediately visible, but are deeply real. The world around you is constantly evolving, changing at a pace that seems to increase every year. New ideas emerge, old methods become outdated, fresh opportunities appear, while others disappear. In this rapidly changing environment, you face a crucial question every single day. Are you evolving along with the world, or are you being left behind? The answer lies in your commitment to continuous learning. Read books that challenge your thinking and introduce you to new concepts. Listen carefully when others speak, especially those who have experiences different from your own. Ask questions about things you do not understand, even if you worry that the questions might seem simple or obvious. Seek wisdom from people who have walked paths you want to travel. Life has a beautiful way of rewarding those who approach it with curiosity and openness. The person who asks, "How does this work?" discovers new skills. The person who wonders, "What would happen if I tried this differently?" finds better methods. The person who admits, "I do not know much about this subject," opens the door to becoming an expert in that very area. Do not be afraid to admit that you do not know everything. This humility, which some people mistake for weakness, is actually your gateway to unlimited growth. When you pretend to know things you do not really understand, you close yourself off from learning. But when you honestly acknowledge the gaps in your knowledge, you create space for new wisdom to enter your life. Each day, make a commitment to learn something new, even if it seems small or unimportant. Read one page of a book that teaches you about a subject you want to understand better. Have one conversation with someone who sees the world differently than you do. Practice one skill that you want to develop. Ask one question about something that puzzles you. These small lessons you gather today will become the wisdom that guides you tomorrow, and the wisdom you develop tomorrow will become the foundation for a lifetime of success. 9. I will manage my time wisely. Time is the most precious currency you will ever possess. Unlike money, which can be earned back after it is spent, time moves in only one direction. Once a moment passes, it is gone forever. You cannot save it for later, you cannot borrow more when you run out, and you cannot get a refund when you waste it on something worthless. This makes time infinitely more valuable than gold, silver, or any treasure found on earth. Yet most people spend their time carelessly, as if they had an endless supply. They drift through days without purpose, letting hours slip away on activities that bring no joy, growth, or progress toward their goals. They treat time as if it were as common as sand on a beach, when in reality it is rarer than the most precious diamond. But when you learn to invest your time wisely, something remarkable happens. Time begins to multiply its value, just like money in a good investment. The hour you spend learning a new skill today becomes years of increased capability. The time you invest in building relationships becomes a lifetime of meaningful connections. The moments you dedicate to your health become decades of vitality and strength. Every morning when you wake up, make this commitment to yourself. I will manage my time wisely. Let these words remind you that you are about to receive 24 brand new hours, a gift that millions of people who died yesterday will never receive again. How will you honor this gift? Here's a truth that separates ordinary people from extraordinary people. Everybody receives exactly the same amount of time each day. The wealthy businessman and the struggling worker both get 24 hours. The famous artist and the unknown dreamer both get the same 60 minutes in every hour. The difference between mediocrity and greatness does not lie in having more time, it lies in using the time you have more wisely. Many people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their days with endless activity, rushing from one task to another, always in motion, but rarely making meaningful progress. Being busy feels important, but it can be a clever disguise for avoiding the hard work that actually matters. True productivity means focusing your energy on the activities that move you closer to your most important goals. This requires you to become ruthless about eliminating distractions. Life is full of things that seem urgent but are not important, activities that feel necessary but actually steal your time away from what truly matters. Every day, forces around you will compete for your attention, trying to pull you away from your priorities and scatter your focus in a dozen different directions. Learning to say no becomes one of your most powerful tools. When someone asks you to do something that does not serve your goals, saying no protects your time for what does matter. When opportunities arise that seem good but are not great, saying no leaves space for the truly great opportunities to enter your life. This is difficult because saying no often disappoints people, and most of us want to be helpful and liked. But remember this crucial truth. Saying yes to everything means saying no to your dreams. Every hour you spend on someone else's priorities is an hour you cannot spend on your own. Every minute you give to activities that do not matter is a minute stolen from the work that could change your life. Guard your time like the treasure it is, because once you truly understand its value, you realize it is the foundation upon which all success is built. 10. I am living with purpose. Without purpose, life becomes an endless cycle of empty motions. You wake up each morning, go through the routines of work and daily tasks, then fall into bed exhausted, only to repeat the same pattern the next day. The hours pass, the weeks blur together, and somewhere deep inside, you feel a nagging sense that something important is missing. You might achieve success by the world's standards, earn money, buy things, meet expectations, but still feel hollow inside, as if you are living someone else's life instead of your own. Purpose is what transforms this empty existence into something meaningful. It is the reason that makes the difficult days worth enduring and gives significance to both your struggles and your victories. Purpose turns ordinary work into a mission, transforms daily challenges into opportunities for growth, and changes problems from burdens into puzzles worth solving. Every morning when you wake up, speak these words with conviction. I am living with purpose. Even if you cannot yet clearly define what that purpose is, declaring your intention to live purposefully begins to align your actions with something greater than yourself. This daily affirmation plants a seed in your mind that will grow into clarity over time. Perhaps you feel uncertain about your purpose right now. Maybe you look at others who seem to have found their calling and wonder why your path feels unclear. This uncertainty is not a failure. It is completely natural. Purpose is rarely revealed in a single moment of brilliant insight. Instead, it unfolds gradually, like a photograph developing in a darkroom, becoming clearer as you gain experience and understand yourself more deeply. The journey to discovering your purpose begins with honest questions that only you can answer. What activities make you lose track of time because you become so absorbed in them? When do you feel most alive, most engaged, most like your true self? What problems in the world make you feel angry or sad, stirring something inside you that wants to take action? What kind of impact do you dream of making, even if it seems impossible right now? Think about who you want to serve through your life's work. Is it children who need guidance? Is it families struggling with challenges you have overcome? Is it communities that lack resources you could help provide? Is it future generations who will inherit the world you help create today? Purpose often emerges when you shift your focus from what you can get to what you can give. As you explore these questions, begin to align your daily actions with your emerging answers. If you feel drawn to helping others learn, find small ways to teach or mentor, even if it is not your main job yet. If you feel called to create beauty in the world, dedicate time each day to creative work, even if no one sees it initially. If you sense a desire to solve particular problems, start studying those problems and looking for ways to contribute to solutions. Living with purpose does not mean your life becomes easy or free from difficulties. In fact, a purposeful life often includes more challenges than a purposeless one, because you are no longer content to accept things as they are. You feel compelled to grow, to push boundaries, to make a difference. The problems you encounter become worth solving because they stand between you and the impact you want to make. A life lived with purpose transforms everything, turning ordinary days into meaningful chapters of a story worth telling. 11. I am grateful for this day. Gratitude is the most powerful shift you can make in how you see the world. It has the magical ability to transform everything around you without changing a single external circumstance. When you practice gratitude, scarcity becomes abundance, complaints transform into appreciation, and problems reveal themselves as possibilities waiting to be discovered. This simple practice can change your entire experience of being alive. Every morning when you wake up, before your mind begins to race with worries about the day ahead or regrets about yesterday, whisper these gentle words to yourself. I am grateful for this day. Let these words settle into your heart like seeds planted in fertile soil. Even if the day ahead looks difficult, even if you woke up feeling tired or worried, this simple acknowledgement opens a doorway to a different way of experiencing whatever comes next. No matter how tough your life feels right now, there is always something worthy of your gratitude. Start with the most basic gift of all, the breath flowing in and out of your lungs without any effort from you. This breath connects you to life itself, and it is a miracle that happens thousands of times each day without you having to think about it or earn it. Look around and notice the people who love you, even if they are far away or no longer living. Their love has shaped who you are today. Think about the lessons you have learned through both joy and pain. Every experience, even the difficult ones, has taught you something valuable about yourself, about others, or about how the world works. Consider the strength you have built by surviving challenges that once seemed impossible to overcome. Gratitude does not mean pretending that difficulties do not exist or putting on a false smile when you feel sad or frustrated. Real gratitude acknowledges problems while choosing to focus on what is good and right in your life alongside what is difficult. This focus gives you strength to face challenges instead of being overwhelmed by them. When you feel grateful for what you have, you stop spending mental energy wishing for what you lack. When you appreciate the good things already present in your life, you become more alert to other good things that were always there but went unnoticed. When you thank life for its gifts, you position yourself to receive even more gifts. Gratitude works like a key that unlocks joy that was always available to you but remained hidden. The more consistently you practice gratitude, the more reasons you will find to be grateful. It creates a positive cycle where appreciation leads to awareness, awareness leads to more appreciation, and joy becomes your natural state rather than something you have to chase. This transformation does not happen overnight, but it begins the moment you decide to look for reasons to be thankful instead of reasons to complain. Start today. Start now. Start with this breath, this moment, this opportunity to choose gratitude.